All right, best matchup of the week. I think we're looking at Hong Dang and the Dunbarton Dominators. These are two of the top teams in the league. They're both projected to score about 161, 162 points. At this point, I think it's the best matchup of the week. Both guys had guys going in the Thursday night game, which was a low-scoring game, and both players overachieved. Lucas got 12 points out of Jimmy Graham, scored a touchdown there, and of course, Allen Robinson was the star of the Bears offense, so Andrew pulls up 17 points. So both players projected to have big weeks, and it's going to be a tough matchup, but it's one to watch. They also have two of the top running backs going this week, Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley. So, I mean, we're in for a good matchup. Both RB2s, both question marks here. Todd Gurley, is his knee okay? Is it not? Are they playing coy in St. Louis? Or LA, sorry, not the Rams in St. Louis anymore. Todd Gurley, though, stud last year, faded down, in the playoffs and late in the season. And Damian Williams, who knows? Damian Williams is a guy that's in a high-powered offense, but the Chiefs just picked up LaShawn McCoy. You got Thompson. He's an up-and-coming running back in that system as well. So who knows with Damian Williams? So my guess is whoever has a bigger week out of those RB2s probably going to win their week, but we'll see. But I think this is the best matchup of the weekend. I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. All right, next matchup we got is Magoo and CK. Not as exciting of a matchup. Both these teams are projected to finish with less points than they were originally anticipating. Devontae Adams, big part of that problem. David Montgomery, 7.5, 5.5 points for each of them Thursday night. Aaron Rodgers projected for 20. Gives CK about 13. Not a good showing for any of those guys. CK still projected to win this matchup 150 to 136. I think he's got some question marks in his lineup tonight. Robbie Anderson banged up. What's going to be happening with him? Who knows? Zeke, is he on a pitch count? We don't know. And he's starting the Jaguars against the Chiefs. It is at home, so we'll see. But I think this could be one of those low-scoring 125 to 130 kind of games. And neither one of these teams were the strongest of weeks, but a lot of that had to do with the Thursday night games, which we saw really helped Andrew and Luke. In this situation, not as much for these two teams. Let's go to the next matchup. All right, the next matchup, welcoming our newest member to the league, Mr. Ron Stroll, versus his BFF, Jed Millett. This is a matchup that puts the AFC Championship game quarterbacks against each other. Brady versus Mahomes. Jed, of course, went out and took Mahomes early in the draft, securing possibly 50 touchdowns this year. This matchup saw a couple guys go on the Thursday night game. Jed had Tariq Cohen, picked up 13 points there just because he's a PPR machine. Probably 60, 70 yards, whatever it was. Not a lot for the Bears offense going on there outside Allen Robinson. Aaron Jones disappointing a lot of owners, 5 points for Jed. So this matchup right now, 159 to 150. Ron projected to have a solid week. Jed with a good week too, but currently trailing a 10-point underdog. Interesting stuff, I think, this week with this matchup, though. When you look at this lineup that Stroll has, he's got David Johnson, that Arizona offense. We don't know a lot about it yet. What's Cliff Kingsbury going to be like with that team? Bruce Arians is not known to use a tight end, but he's never had a tight end in Tampa like O.J. Howard. So that's going to be a very interesting player, I think, this year for Ron. Could be a huge boon or a bust. We don't know. And then, of course, T.Y. Hilton without Andrew Luck. I don't know. Jacoby Brissett. What's T.Y. Hilton going to look like at the end of the year? Is he a wide receiver 3, a wide receiver 2? And then on Jed's side, he's got Kamara, super stud. He's got the wild card in Freeman, though. Devontae Freeman burned a lot of players last year, got injured in week 2. So Jed, of course, got a discount on him during the draft, just given that he had the that stigma around him from the injury last year. He's got Josh Gordon. I think Josh Gordon's going to eat tonight. Big night for him. And Amari Cooper, who knows? But Jed loves Dallas, so he was going to get somebody from that team. All right, so that's that matchup, Ron versus Jed. Ron, welcome to the league again, 159 to 150. It's going to be a close matchup. Very excited to see that one. All right, next matchup, I think it's a good matchup. Pat versus me, DJ v. Biggie Raj. This is going to be a good one. Both these teams featuring high-end wide receivers. Juju, Tyreek, and Tyler Lockett for me. Pat's got Hopkins, Evans, and Diggs. Sick combinations. Both teams went a little bit different at the draft, opting to wait on some running backs. Pat teaming up Carson with Jacobs. Those are interesting combinations. Carson, of course, That's in a run-first offense, and he's going to get the ball, and he proved last year he was very capable at doing exactly what the Seahawks want to do. And Jacobs, the Raiders are going to give him the ball. We know that. John Gruden said it, so it's like, who knows what we're going to get out of this kid or that offense, but he's going to see a lot of opportunity. And then on DJ side, my side, Sony Michel. I think kid's going to have a big year, sneaky good year. And carry on Johnson, who I'm very high on, but we'll see. Both waiting again on the running backs till a little bit later in the draft. And then I picked up George Kittle, a huge fan of George Kittle. And Pat has sneaky play at tight end, Waller. Darren Waller from Oakland. So Pat doubling down a little bit here on Oakland Sans AB. So we'll see this matchup. I am projected to win it by a small margin right now, 160 to 155. We'll see how that goes through the course of the day, but another high-scoring offense on both sides and an interesting matchup. So it'll be a tough 0-1 for one of these two teams. I expect it to be close, and so it'll be tough to have to swallow. But we'll go ahead and take a look at our last matchup for Week 1 of the Derry Farm Fantasy Football League. Okay, last but not least, Nason versus Toby. This matchup here, little bit different setup here. These two teams are very evenly matched. When you go down and you look at situations for each of these teams, they're very similar. They have very similar setups. Top wide receiver ones, Julio Jones, Michael Thomas. Solid RB1s, Connor, Cook, and Ingram versus Henry at tight end. You know, both those guys are projected for 12 points. So the big difference here, I think, which puts Toby in a huge advantage, at least right now before we start the 1 o'clock games on Sunday, is Nason took a 0.00 on Thursday night. Anthony Miller from the Bears, total goose egg. Nason started him and got 0. That was a weird game like we've talked about already. And it set Nason back. So now it looks like Toby's up 150 to 142 projected right now. We'll see how it goes, but it's going to be a good game. No matter what, it's just tough for Nason to start with his arm behind his back. So good luck to all of you. Have a great week, and hopefully we'll get some good football. Go Pats.